Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube. Hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. So I have just arrived at the gym. I'm actually at destination, which is a little bit further away than my normal gym, but I'm gonna go and meet Kelsey today because we are gonna be training together. We're doing an upper body session and we're gonna do a little bit of filming as well. We're actually gonna film our session. I thought it'd be quite cool to like run through an upper body session. Obviously Kelsey, if you don't know, Kelsey is my undivided coach, so she does coaching within Undivided with a few of the girls. Yeah, we thought it'd be really cool to basically film an upper body session, go through some bits around like upper body, how to train your upper body effectively. Also, we are both in building phases at the minute, so Kelsey is actually, she's a bikini pro with PCA, so I am a pro within figure PCA, she is pro within bikini. She is actually transitioning over to fit model. She is in a like off-season building phase for that, so we're both in building phases at the minute, and we thought, oh, this will be really cool. We can kind of talk about like our building phases, how we're training at the minute. Today's episode, a little bit of a different one because it's not very often I do sort of really in-depth like training YouTubes, but today is going to be purely gym based. Obviously we're going to go through our sessions, but also like our own journeys, how we're like getting on with our own building phases, and hopefully give you guys some tips as well that you can implement into your own training to get even more from your own training at the minute, and also like how to kind of structure your building phase, how to generally improve your training, improve your physique, improve your performance from two bodybuilding pros, which is going to be super fun. So I'm actually just waiting for her. She's a little bit late, so I'm gonna head in and get my abs and cardio done first. But just a little bit of an update in general, just while I've got you. I am now I've done 3 weeks now of my building phase. We're into week number 4, and my food came up again this last week. So obviously I did like an intro to my building phase video, and I went through like my current goals with the build. Obviously my food had already come up at that point, but then my food actually came up, thank God, because I've been starving. So my current calories are actually quite high now. Like I'm on pretty much 2,800 calories on my training day and about 2,200 on my rest day now. So they are pretty high. Still hungry, of course. All the more reason to get strong and to just absolutely smash training at the minute. Hopefully, like I said, you take something away from this, but I'm excited for this session. It's actually pretty hot today. It's like 20, we're in the middle of a UK heat wave. It's like 25 degrees or something ridiculous. So hopefully it's not a million degrees in the gym. Catch you in the gym. Okay, so we are in the gym together. We're at a destination and we've just done our first exercise. So we've just started with a single arm lat pull down, which we've just finished. And we are both actually in building phases at the minute, aren't we? So give us a little intro on your journey, because you're actually changing categories at the minute, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm in a building phase to compete next year. So I'll probably do June, July shows, prep probably start about March. So building this year, might do a mini cut at the end of this year. Yeah, we're actively, at least for the next few months, properly building.
Yeah.
So building up calories, building up like
eating all the food,
all the training progression, tracking a lot of training progression, because that's like a key driver in this phase to make sure that we're growing and measuring that, because it's not always a good measure of scale weight to track this phase of how well that you're getting on.
We're really excited for this because we're both in building phases, and we were saying this, we went on a team hike yesterday and we were like, we're both on like similar food at the minute. So we're both sort of like 2.8k on a training day, which is quite a lot of food. Hopefully we can show you that actually, I know as a female, it can be quite scary. We're just having this conversation, like the biggest thing you can do as a female who wants to see progress is actually spend some time eating enough food away from dieting, because that's the main thing that is actually going to drive your training and change your physique. So many girls keep themselves stuck because they always like chase a lower scale weight rather than spending time like letting the scale weight come up and actually eating enough.
It's really weird seeing the scale weight going up when you're used to seeing it going down as a measure of progression, and now going up is like the opposite and conflict to what your brain feels comfortable with. But yeah, so important.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Mindset, getting it right.
Fun times.
Getting in yesterday after the hike. We didn't get back till a bit later because we were hiking and driving around, so felt like a lot to get.
I think I ate like 4 meals back to back.
Yeah, I had a lot of meals back to back, so the end of the day was a lot.
a little cue as well when you are doing a single arm or any sort of lat focused movement is thinking about driving your elbow like down into your hip rather than like back behind you. Okay, so we're just going to go on to the shoulder press. So just some little tips with this. You want to make sure your feet are flat on the floor when you're pressing. So if you've got a machine that's like super high up and you're on your toes, just pop like a little bench or a plate under your feet, and that will give you like a much more stable base to push off. And then something that really helps me as well is thinking about tucking your hips and keeping your back nice and flat, so you're not like really arching when you're doing it. You see a lot of girls and they're like really arched, so they're like this. So you want to think about really engaging your core and making sure that you're keeping that nice and tight as you are pressing as well. More with me.
One of the reasons that a lot of women might feel like they're stuck and they're still not making the progress that they want with that muscular physique, because they get too scared of seeing the scale weight going up. And once that starts to happen, they pull back and end up back to square one because they're not putting the time into that building phase as required. Because as soon as you see that scale weight going up and you feel softer and becoming less as you want to look, you're going to want to pull away from that and end up completely back where you started. You have to kind of ride out that feeling of being uncomfortable to actually get to the point that you want to get to.
Okay, so far we have done the single arm pull down and then we've done the shoulder press. So we're just going to go onto another back movement. So we're doing a chest supported row now. One thing that I just wanted to touch on a little bit is when you are chasing the goal of building muscle, so many people get hung up on pushing the numbers up and seeing the numbers come up, which is obviously important, right? Like we both logbook our training, we're aiming to get stronger. That is one of the key things that you want to be tracking in your building phase is like, are you actually getting stronger in the gym? But it's also important like to look at the bigger picture. So it's not just about adding more weight. It's also looking at, can you slow your tempo down because then the muscle is contracted for longer? Can you actually improve your form because then you are hitting the muscle more effectively? Like, can you get more reps? Even if it's like one set, it doesn't necessarily have to be like across the board, but it's just looking at other ways you can progress your training. And I'll say this to clients all the time. It's like, I would rather you go lighter with your weight and actually, you know, get a full range of motion, keep the tempo really, really slow. Also keep the movement really controlled as well. So thinking about, it's so easy when you're doing a movement to just use loads of momentum and be able to move way more weight. But actually, you are better off like really controlling the weight, using the muscle, not swinging the weight around and doing less weight and really, really going to failure. And obviously that's a key thing as well. We're going to show you this in a second, but you really want to make sure that you are going to failure. So literally pushing to the point where you physically cannot move that weight anymore with good form. That is the biggest thing that is going to drive your training forward. And this is something that we both track as well, is like our training progression. Like, are we getting stronger? Are we really training hard? Are we training to failure? Is our form really good? Like these are the big things you're looking for when you're on a building phase and the goal is to build muscle. Like your training performance, how hard you are training is the biggest thing that is going to drive you forward. So if you can look at your logbook and be like, yeah, I know my form's good. I know I'm training really, really hard. I can see the numbers coming up. I can see the reps coming up. That's when you know that you are making progress in building muscle, even if you can't see it, because you're not necessarily going to see it when you're in a building phase. That's the thing in terms of your physique.
Okay, we've just done some chest supported seated row. So a few tips on setting this up correctly, making sure that the pad is forward enough so that your chest is fully supported and that the seat is nice and high enough so that you've got full traction with your feet. I don't think you can see my feet on the floor here, but here's my feet. You want to be able to make sure that you can brace off the floor, and that stability is going to give you a lot more power to be able to then use the target muscles. Okay, so I just wanted to talk a little bit around what training to failure actually looks like and how girls can sometimes feel like it starts to get hard. And in the moment it starts to get hard, they'll think that that's when it's time to stop. But that's actually when you're starting to connect with the muscle, and you should push through that even though it feels uncomfortable and painful. That is the part of the exercise where the growth is actually happening. You want to push to the point of you not being able to perform another rep. So physically, meaning that no matter how hard you try, you just can't do another rep. So going to failure from what people might think feels hard isn't always as much as you actually can push yourself.
Okay, so you can see from that Kelsey's just done her set of lat raises. So you can see her body position was really, really still. And this is one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're doing lat raises, is they're like swinging all over the place. So you can like rest your knees against the bench like Kelsey did, or you can literally just stand there. But you basically want to think like this is a movement where you want to be stood really still, and you just want to be you're trying to hit your side delt, right? So you're not trying to swing all over the place. So keep your body position locked in. Think about raising out to the side. And you want to keep that movement really controlled. Again, if you go really heavy with these, it's so easy to just like swing the weight around. So we want to think, can we keep the body nice and still? All we're trying to use is that side, this bit of your shoulder here, which, oh, look at that little shoulder vein peeking out.
Oh, that was there before.
Woo! We're just trying to use this part of the shoulder, not trying to like swing the weight. So you want the arm almost straight, very slight bend in the elbow, and literally just you saw exactly what Kelsey was doing there. And then you can see at the end what she does is she goes into like partial reps. So rather than just stopping the set, she just keeps going to the point where she's doing like little penguin flaps at the end.
So we're moving on now to our next exercise. We're going to do machine lateral raises. Leah's just setting it up now, so I'm going to go through a little bit around that and show you what she is doing. She's set up nice and stable, so she's got her feet fully on the floor. She's making sure that she's lifting through her shoulders, so she's really connecting. You can literally see those shoulders working. That heavy.
Maybe a set, but that was a set.
How'd that feel?
That was good. That was good set. For women, like training up a body, if you want that illusion of like a smaller waist, it's so important, because if you think about, if you build out your shoulders, your lats, your back, your like shape, you're going to get more of that like X frame. And that's what a lot of women want, right? It's like that small waist, that X frame where they've got good shoulders, good glutes, and they've got like a cinched waist. And that comes from obviously getting leaner, right? But it also comes from building that shape. So spending time building your lats, building your shoulders, building your back thickness, building your glutes, so you get that sort of X frame. So even things like your rear delts, you know, like your lat focus movements, your side delt movements, like all of this, any upper body work is going to help give you that shape that you actually want, and spending time building out those areas.
So we did dumbbell lat raises and decided to go straight into machine lat raises. Well, it was on the plan, but now we're absolutely dying. So shoulders are dead. How are you feeling?
Pumps.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just moving on to a lat pull down. So this is like our last big movement, and then we're going to go on to some arms. So this is something that we see in women all the time. So Kelsey, if you just let your shoulders come up around your neck. So you see how Kelsey now, her like shoulders are up, and then if she pulls down now, she's going to end up using her shoulders to pull the weight. So now pull your shoulders down first. So she's going to pull her shoulders down. You see how her lats are now engaged. And now as she pulls down, so give us a rep, she's going to keep her shoulders down as she brings her arms up. So you see how her shoulders are still down, her lats stay now like fully engaged all the way through the set. Now on this rep, let your shoulders come up around your neck. So see how now she's let her shoulders come up and her lats are now like not really engaged. So we just want to make sure before we actually do the set that we pull down our shoulders, which is going to really, really help with keeping the lats engaged, which is this bit here. This bit, sorry, I'm just pointing on you. This is the bit we're trying to hit on this movement.
Okay, Kels, myth or fact?
Hi.
You'll get bulky when you're eating loads of food and you're training hard. Because this is what a lot of women are scared of, right? This is what we're doing at the minute, is eating a lot and training hard.
It depends. Right. If you're following a structured plan and you're doing a controlled building phase, no, you're not going to just get fat. If you take it upon yourself to think, I can have whatever I want, any kind of food, whatever I feel like, yeah, there's a risk.
This is where a lot of women go wrong.
There's a risk that you're going to put more fat on than you need to, let's say. I'd say it's a fine line, but it's not. It's quite simple. If you're following a good structured plan, you can still have some flexibility. You can still eat a bit of what you fancy. There's no need to be rigid like you would if you're on a diet phase or on a prep. It's not needed to be that strict, but following some sort of structure, still knowing that you're getting your protein in, you're getting all of your nutrients, your vegetables, because your body needs to be functioning to grow. You need all that goodness from all that food. So if you're just eating rubbish, then you're not going to give your body the fuel it needs to grow, because you are what you eat. So you're building the muscle from what you're eating. So you need to make sure you're getting your protein in. You got structure. You're not just having whatever you want. I'm sorry, the question was so simple and I've gone off on an absolute tangent. We're going to finish off on some arms. We're going to do some tricep rope pull downs and biceps over here. So I'm just going to talk through a little bit around tricep pull down and a few tips to make sure that you're getting this all connected. Really common with this, a lot of swinging. So moving your upper arm is going to disengage the tricep. So you want to try and keep the upper arm as still as you possibly can. And you're only going to be moving the lower arm from the elbow down and keeping that upper arm nice and stable and braced. It's going to engage a lot more tricep than if you're bringing it up like this. You'll probably be able to go a lot heavier as well if you're doing it like this.
Okay, and then the last exercise we're going to do is a bicep curl. So I like using for this a bar where it's slightly angled, so I don't have to turn my wrists as much. But what you basically want to think of this is you want to keep your wrists slightly unflexed. And then again, you want to make sure that you're able to get a full like stretch at the bottom of the movement. So I always think with this, like you just want to keep it really, really controlled and make sure like you're really squeezing at the top, and then you're able to fully extend your arm at the bottom. And again, you don't want to be like swinging or leaning back. You want your body position to be just like nice and still as you're doing the movement. So there's no swinging, and you're just literally using your bicep, not your shoulders or anything when you're lifting the weight up, which is what we see really commonly of. Obviously, we've both been training right for a really, really long time. And I think this is something to like definitely think about. If you are a woman that wants to build muscle and you want to actually see a change in your physique, it's like, you're not going to change your physique from like just one phase. Like we've done multiple building phases, multiple dieting phases. And honestly, it's just like the more you stack the phases, the more progress you're going to get, the more muscle you're going to build, the leaner you're going to sit, the more food you're going to be able to eat. It just like takes time. It really does. So I think it's just, if you are early on in your journey, like just give it time and just enjoy the process. And I guess just going back to the building phase, one of the kind of last points that I wanted to make in this video is like, if you feel like you are stuck and your physique isn't changing, just got Kelsey doing, oh, look at her biceps, then just some things to kind of think about is, are you doing the same weight every single week? So are you just like doing the exact same weight week in, week out, you know, not really like progressing your training, not really logging your training? Because if you're just going in and you stop in every time you get to 10 reps and then you're doing the same weight and the same reps, like there's no reason for your body to change. So really just making sure you're actually going in and you are pushing the weights to failure. You're not just stopping when you get to 10 reps or 11 reps or 12 reps. Also making sure that you're logbooking your training, because that makes the world of difference. If you go in and I'm thinking, oh yeah, well, I'm doing this like shoulder press and I know I do about 20 kg, actually going in and having the weights and the reps written down for every single set you're doing makes the world of difference, rather than just kind of going in and thinking, oh, well, I know I do about this much weight. Like be super specific with your login, you know, the exact reps and the exact weight you've done for each individual set. We've kind of touched on this earlier, but not just training comfortably. Like you need to really push to the point where you've physically hit failure, like no reps in reserve, no stop when it gets hard, like actually pushing to failure. Also just sticking to the same plan. Like these are movements that we do week in, week out. that we literally repeat at, because we need time to actually learn the movement, get stronger at the movement, and then also be able to progress the movement. And that's going to come from literally doing the same movements and repeating those movements rather than just going in and like faffing about with random kind of workouts. So they're like our biggest tips in terms of what we do when we are training to like really get the most from our training. Remember, like when you're eating, when you're in a building phase, like that's the time where you build muscle. Dieting just reveals the work that you do when you are building. So anyway, we're going to do our last set now and then go and eat our post-workout meal in the cafe.
Okay, so we've just finished and we've got our post-workout. I've got some cereal, a protein shake. You've got
chicken.
Of course you have. Chicken and potato, Kelsey specialty.
Chicken and potato sauce. If you've not listened to our podcast from last week.
Oh, is that you jazzing it up a bit?
I just said
That's
about
your jazz
barbecue
up.
sauce.
Oh yeah, you do love some barbecue sauce.
It is simple but effective.
Yeah. So I just wanted to finish off by just talking quickly about some of the things you actually want to track in your building phase, because I think we find this all the time that when girls are dieting, obviously you get so fixated on the scale weight, getting leaner, your visuals, and then when you actually move into a build, especially if it's like the first time you've done it, it can be, obviously we've done a lot of building phases now, so we know what to expect, but when you're first coming into a build, it can be quite tough because you go from like seeing all these visuals and tracking them to suddenly like the things that you track in a fat loss phase aren't the same as the things you track in a building phase. So what are like the biggest things that you would say are like important to track in a building phase, and what would you say like don't stress about?
Do you not stress about the scale weight in a building phase, because that's going to make your mind potentially feel a bit uncomfortable? Obviously it will be going up, like that's a good thing, which is conflicting to what you might think. Yeah. But the main thing for tracking is your progress with your training, so making sure that you are getting stronger, that you are progressing. Getting stronger doesn't always just mean going up in weight as well. So if you're just pushing the weight up but you're not really getting that connection and feeling the weight in the right muscles, then it is also pointless pushing that weight up for the sake of it. So getting a good connection, if that means resetting and going back to baseline, but really then tracking that you are progressing with that connection as well.
We're both in building phases. Like visually, we don't look really different week to week in our check-ins. Like my weight's coming up, your weight's coming up. Like I'm sharing all of this on my Instagram at the minute as well, and like what a building phase looks like. I know you're talking a lot about it on your socials as well, but it's like hopefully today we've shown you that like it is slow. Like both of us are in building phases now for the rest of this year pretty much. Yeah. But the main thing we're looking at is our gym performance. Like we probably aren't going to look that different at the end of the year, maybe just a bit bigger and a bit less lean.
And you know what is frustrating, and I think it takes a while to kind of learn this as well. Like you're not going to see the muscle growing. You're not going to just suddenly wake up and be like, oh my God, my muscle has just suddenly got twice as big. It takes so long. It just takes so long to actually build muscle as a female as well. A natural female, like you're not going to wake up and think, oh yeah, my muscle's just got bigger.
I'm jacked.
But if you keep consistent over months of progressing, you will start to see the difference. But daily changes don't happen. Whereas
even weekly.
Well, weekly changes don't happen, but
No,
when you're dieting, you do. So it's really weird, because when you're dieting, you look in the mirror and you think, oh, I look so different. Even day to day, this is different. But 100%. That's why it's so important to just like keep consistent. Just keep consistent. Like the progress is not visual. Like the tracking and measuring of progress in a building phase is not going to be something you can see in the mirror. 100%. But when you diet, you're going to reveal all of that hard work. And then you will see how much it's worth it.
Top things you want to actually track in your building phase is like your strength in the gym and your performance in the gym, your recovery, making sure you get enough sleep, and generally your recovery from your training, your food quality, and actually hitting enough food consistently. Because I think that's where a lot of girls go wrong, is they'll do a bit building and then they'll get freaked out and pull the calories down. And actually the quality of your food is important. Like I definitely made this mistake in the past with like just eating whatever the hell hit my calories. It's like actually what you're eating still matters. And then your consistency, just actually sticking with it for like, we always say this to our clients, like 5 months really is like the base that you want to spend in a building phase. So anyway, let's wrap this up because we've been rambling for 10 years. And that pretty much wraps it up. So 3 things, if you really want to build muscle: train hard enough, eat enough consistently of good quality food,
eat your meals,
and stay in your building phase for long enough.
Stay in your phase.
And that's exactly what we're doing. So this is a little insight into one of our upper body sessions, and we're both in building phases now, literally for the rest of this year, eating all the food
Eating all the food.
and training hard.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Bye.